why is today important? Well, one, I'm going to make this personal. I have 5 grandsons. The oldest is in the 6th grade. The youngest is still in preschool. And you all know this, but I want to emphasize it. If children, students, have high-performing teachers, they'll learn. And so today, we're going to talk about clinical practice. We're going to talk about how can colleges and universities guarantee high-performance teachers. The kind of teachers that every one of you and I want for my grandchildren. And we know that if they don't learn to read by the 3rd grade or so, that it's almost impossible to catch up. And if you can't read, you can't do math. And if you can't do math, you can't do science. And it just rolls out of control.
I have a special place in my heart for after-school programs and the innovative approaches you're taking to create a teacher pipeline, to recognize that those who are in our schools working with kids today in the after-school programs have great potential to be the outstanding, excellent teachers of tomorrow. And I'm excited, too, as a science teacher for what you're doing for bringing science into the after-school programs, a wonderful opportunity during those 3 hours of learning and nurturing that we have in those 4,000 schools that Charlie mentioned. And California should be doing more of what you're doing here today, is even in the midst of crisis, not just dealing with that or sitting in our hands or wringing our hands about what's going on. We need to be planning for that brighter future, sharing the innovative ideas that work, celebrating what works, sharing what can be done when you combine innovation, creativity, vision with commitment.
It's all about outcomes, and we want those outcomes to look at performance assessments, teacher candidate effectiveness in improving K-12 student achievement, and retention rates, things like customer satisfaction outcomes. How did the candidates feel about the education they got? What did the principals have to say? I think you actually acknowledged that as something that you're already doing.
We teach them how to be a problem solver. We teach them how to reference the content, the knowledge that supports the work of teaching. And we teach them to consult one another. You don't learn that skill, that practice, that habit of thinking if you are isolated, if you're on the campus and not in the school, and if you're not a part of a professional community that you learn to contribute to and rely upon in clinical training.
It's not about just knowing content, and it's not about just having skills. It's about knowing your students and meeting them where they are and transporting them to where they need to go with the skills you have as a teacher.
We should not lose track of all of the productive work that is being done, all of the teachers who are being well prepared and better prepared. In fact, there was a study recently that found that most principals and teachers in California schools who work with new teachers find that they are better prepared now than they have been in the past. And most candidates, most graduates of the California State University system, according to one of the many surveys that the system undertakes, 85% said that they are well prepared for the various dimensions of teaching that they have to undertake.
And transformation is an important word too, because at least for me it does not connote instant change, revolution. It's not like what happened on the streets of Cairo. Transformation goes slowly. It requires a kind of persistent doggedness, patience. And Charles, under your leadership, teacher education has even more emerged as the moral core of CSU's raison d'etre.
One way that we can look to doing better is through the new emphasis on using after-school learning opportunities to help students become more engaged with STEM. This movement is one of the most important and exciting innovations that I've observed in California.